up, everyone? Alright, today what we're going to be doing is, well, let me just show you here. About a couple weeks ago, my Sentra's door lock, this happened right after I took it in for inspection. The car's door lock decided to break on me there, so you can hear that sound. So, after I had taken it in for inspection, I noticed that anytime I unlocked the door, the car would start making this noise here, so I determined that it's the power door lock system that's in the car. So for the past couple weeks, I've been having to drive the Z's my daily because the Sentra hasn't wanted to break that door lock in case it locked itself. So today, I finally just got a replacement part here that we're going to use to fix it. And I've been looking up how to take the door off, so we're getting ready to do that. So from what I've understand, from what I've been reading, the first thing we need to do is there are three panels that we're going to need to pop out. There's one down here in the armrest. You can see a couple little indentions here. We just need to pull this panel up and there should be a Phillips under that. And then there's another panel right here that we're going to have to pull out, and then we'll reveal another Phillips, and then we'll need to pop this panel off right here. Now, it might be kind of difficult to see, but what I'm doing here is I'm just sort of insert the little small flathead. You can find anyone here. I just kind of insert it into the little space there. Just kind of pull on it a little bit. It pops it right out. Right, for this panel in here, should be able to kind of fit a flathead right on the side. There we go. Get it out of there. So there's two Phillips, one there, one there. I'll also see if I can pop this panel off. For this one, I'm just going to use one of my trim removal tools. Try and get in there without scratching it. Fairly easy. Now, if I remember correctly, that should be everything, but I'm kind of going off of a video for an Ultima door lock replacement, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of pull up on the panels here, just to make sure there aren't any screws that are hiding underneath here. Oh, yep, so I didn't see any there. I'm going to try and pull up this panel because I'm going to see if I can undo the wiring harness here. That'll make it easier to take the panel off. That just kind of pops out like that. And one thing I mentioned, or forgot to mention, was it's important usually whenever you're undoing any of these harnesses that you unplug your battery, just in case, because, you know, for instance, if we're going to undo the airbag harness, we don't want the airbag accidentally going off because it's static or anything, so make sure that you unplug your battery before you take any of these harnesses out. Alright, there we go. Now, the wiring harness is always the most difficult part. I usually press on it with my finger and then I'll use like a flathead to try and get underneath it and sort of pry it out. Alright, and that's about as far as I can follow the video tutorial on the Ultima. At this point, we're kind of on our own. The factory service manual doesn't really make much sense, so I'm going to have to figure out how to take this door panel off. So I did find there's one 10mm that sits right inside the door here that I'm going to go ahead and take out. I don't know if we actually need to take this out or not, but it's fairly easy just to take it out. Yeah, so that's out. Okay. Now in the videos, they just kind of pry around the side of the door. There's little clips here and there. Go, so I'm able to take the trim removal tool that I can kind of get in on the edges here. It's allowing me to sort of pull some of these panels up. At least on the sides. Go. That's almost doing it. Okay, so what you should do, start off from the sides and kind of use a removal tool or flathead, whatever, and just kind of pull on the sides of the door here all the way down. And then once you've got those, it looks like you can just kind of lift up on the panel and it pulls out. If you look right here, these are the actual mechanical links that go to the door handle. So we're gonna have to actually remove, pop those out so that we can pull this door panel off, because it's the only thing now that's kind of holding the door panel to the door. So we're gonna need to undo those harnesses. So on these locks, it looks like there are two different cable connectors for the door handle. One of them is this ball one, so I just figured out how to do that one. So if we come over, I'm going to try and do this because I don't really have a great way to mount the camera, so I'm going to try and do this with one hand, but that cable connector is sort of, it's just kind of laying there in the door. If you kind of pull up on this white piece a little bit, it frees it, and if you just pull it up and over, it frees the ball connector. Now I just got to figure out how to get that other one out. Okay. For that other connector, it's sort of the same thing. It's just kind of laying in the door, sort of like that. You can pull it up, and then all you actually have to do, I can only film with one hand here, but so it's laying in the door. All you got to do is kind of pull it over and then to the side, and that frees that cable. So now we can see here that the door panel. So this is where we're at with the door. These cables right here, we're going to have to get behind the sound dampening material here, and it looks like it's kind of just glued onto the door. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to get in behind here, and I'm going to have to just kind of break that apart a little bit so we can pull this up. But we want to be careful not to actually tear foam, so that we can tape it back on later. And kind of keep just working my way around. We just need to get enough room. What I'm looking at doing here is just kind of get this half off so we have enough room to be able to pull this back, and we should be able to get to the door lock. Stuff's stuck on there pretty good. Alright, so I just finished kind of cutting away and peeling off some of this kind of rubber stuff here that they're using to hold this piece of foam on. I just got enough so I can kind of reveal this little space here. We can see the cables. I should be able to actually kind of pull those through now. But I'm going to kind of tape this off to the side here so I just can have room. And then, I don't know if you can see it, but that should be the door lock in there that we're going to replace. I should just need to take these 3 screws out. But yeah, so I'm going to tape this off to the side, and that should give me enough room to work here. So after that, I'm going to pull these cables through so I can get them through down here. And then I'm going to undo these 3 screws here, and then that should free it up and we should be able to take it out. As far as the screws on this side goes, it looks like they're a T30, so you'll need to get a T30 Torx out to be able to take these out. Okay, so there's one other thing I didn't see coming, but it's kind of obvious now that I've seen it. But the exterior door handle, it looks like there's another cable that comes from the outside door handle that kind of goes through these. I'm guessing it pulls on this actuator here. So I'm currently trying to figure out how to free it up from these clips so that I can pull it out. So that's kind of what I'm working on now. So I got to figure out how to get that up. So I was able to kind of free it up a little bit. So there's this one harness you're going to have to take out for the automatic door locks. That pops out pretty easy. And there. Now if we see here, here's this last harness for the outside door lock. Trying to figure out how to pop it out of here. It looks like it should just kind of pop up. So let's see what I can do for that one. Okay, so I think I finally figured this out. It looks like this piece right here, that kind of just pops in to the hook there. So you just kind of have to pull up on this. And then I'm guessing that this piece right here is going to pop up just like this one did, and then we should be able to kind of slide it through the little hooks here. Okay, so I did finally get the cable loose here. I see it did take quite a bit of effort to kind of pop this guy off. You really just have to keep kind of wiggling at it, and you got to pull with a bit of force. I ended up using some, where did they go? I ended up just using some pliers to try and pull on this bit a little bit. You can kind of see where the teeth had to dig in, but finally that's out now. So the old door lock finally removed, and now I'm going to be able to just throw this OEM replacement back on, and hopefully this should fix my issues. Okay, so that's the exterior handle put back on. Now I'm just going to kind of maneuver it in place. Before I push it in all the way, I'm going to go ahead and pop this harness back on. Okay, it's on now. I can maneuver it back into place, and I'm going to reinstall the screws. I want to make sure that the screws are replaced pretty tight. Get that door lock moving around. Okay, so the wires have been replaced back to the door. I'm going to go ahead and put this piece of foam back in place here. Now to reinstall the door, first kind of need to hook the top part on first. So remember, we pulled it when you were taking this off, we pulled it up to get it off, so we need to hook the top back on. Okay, and once the top's back on, should be able to just go around the edge of the door and just kind of pop this tabs back in. Now I'm going to test to make sure, where'd that panel go? I'm going to plug this back in and just make sure that it actually works. Now I'm going to go plug the battery back in. Sounds like it works. It's not making any noise. So let's go ahead and pop all the panels back on here, and we'll test to make sure that everything works correctly. Almost forgot. First we're going to put that 10mm back in place. Phillips back in. And now, hopefully, everything will work. So now I'm just going to go through a test to make sure that everything locks and unlocks accordingly. And hopefully it's finally repaired now and I can finally start driving the Sentra again. But alright everyone, so that's how you remove the door lock and replace it with a new one. So thank you for watching.